Welcome to Beyond the Headlines in the WMBD Plus app, where we break down today's local news stories with our very own reporters. I'm Cameron Main.
And I'm Alex Berger. Today we are discussing SIDS Awareness Month and safe sleeping habits for your infant. Then in the Twin Cities, we are discussing SA.
And lastly, we'll be discussing what's going on at the state capitol during the veto session.
Absolutely.
Our first big local story of the day puts our very own Alex Berger in the hot seat. This month is Sudden Infant Death Syndrome Awareness Month. Alex is here to discuss safe sleeping measures for your infants.
Absolutely.
All right, Alex, so what is SIDS?
So yes, as you said, it is Sudden Infant Death Syndrome. Basically, this is where an infant under the age of under 1 year of age suddenly passes away. Very commonly, this affects more than 3,500 babies a year.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of it has to do with sleep. So how the baby is sleeping, where the baby is sleeping, and those are the main reasons for SIDS to happen to a baby. And so it just takes a lot of practice and education.
Yeah, talking about that practice, how can parents practice safe sleeping for their infants?
So I spoke to the director of women's care at OSF Healthcare today, and she highlighted, her name is Lisa Smith, she highlighted the ABCs of safe sleeping with your infant. So that includes the baby sleeps alone, the baby sleeps on its back, and it sleeps in a crib. With a lot of new parents and a lot of young parents, it can be kind of difficult to really wrap your head around all that goes into taking care of a now small human.
Yeah.
So they really emphasize that education is the most necessary way to know what you're going to be doing when you're parenting.
So just knowing how, like the risks involved,
Yes.
And there are a lot of things when you're raising such a little one, they're so dependent.
Right, like not staying in the room, or you can stay in the room, but not like sleeping with the baby, like co-sleeping.
Right.
That's very
not
ill-advised. And then, not letting the baby sleep on its side. And then also making sure that it is a, flat crib the baby can sleep on, so it can lay on its back and do the little baby
Yeah,
things that
it can do
does.
its baby things.
Yeah,
And have the little toys and it can play around with it.
Do you still do that?
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. I have like a little dinosaur thing, all these dinosaurs hanging down.
He's a dinosaur guy, if you guys didn't know. So,
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah.
Yeah, anything else you'd like to talk about?
Just that education is very readily available. You can find it on our website, ciproud.com, the link to find the educational courses that new parents or parents in general who are expecting an infant can take to learn more.
All right, well, thank you so much for breaking that out, Alex. But we've got a different story on our hands, and this got me, Alex, talking this evening.
Yeah.
You and I, we were talking about this. A Craigslist ad posted 2 years ago is now going viral, thanks to TikTok. It was posted by a person looking to get 3 or 4 people to help eat a massive pie from Costco. The dessert was a 4-pound peanut butter chocolate pie. It's apparently so dense it would be too much for one person to handle. It's unclear whether anyone actually replied to the ad, but it generated plenty of conversation online. Some loved the idea of a pie sharing meetup, while others wish Costco would sell a smaller version.
You're telling me that these pies are not meant for one? What have I been doing?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
That's I'm saying, I mean.
Well, I mean, it's like maybe it's like a big Thanksgiving thing. Like it's like, oh, hey guys, pumpkin pie. That's Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, that's Thanksgiving. Yeah. Well, so don't be worried at home that I'm actually eating an entire pie. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not. I just. How lonely do you have to be to put a Craigslist ad out to say,
who could eat this pie with me?
Does anybody want to eat the pie?
And I was about to say, if you had been eating a giant pie every week or so, you do not show it. You look great.
Oh, hey. Give this guy a raise.
Oh, yeah.
This is incredible. I like this show now. This is great.
All right, when we come back on Beyond the Headlines, we've got Austin Feeman live from the Twin Cities breaking down another local story for you. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Another big local story of the day. The Normal Fire Department is making sure you know how to properly dispose of any kind of batteries.
Absolutely. Plus, what you should do and shouldn't do when charging a battery. WMED's Austin Feeman joins us live from the Twin Cities newsroom. Hi, Austin. He's going to go over some battery tips. So, Austin, how should someone dispose of a used battery?
Yeah, thank you, Alex. Thank you, Cameron. So definitely the number one thing is to not throw your dead batteries into the trash can. I know it's tempting. I know it's easy. But the best thing to do is to save all those dead batteries until you have a lot of them, and then take them to a recycle center, somewhere that recycles batteries. In McLean County, there is 2 places that you can take them. Or if you, you can take them to where you got the batteries as well. Some local retailers will also dispose of those batteries for you. Now that depends on where you get them. I would call where you got those batteries and check just to make sure. But Normal Fire Department was telling me that you can call those retailers and they can take care of those batteries for you. But most important thing, not to throw them in the trash, because if they hit a piece of metal or anything in the trash, it could spark and cause a fire inside of your trash can in your home, or it can start a fire in the dump truck, which we definitely don't want. That would be that would not be good. So this includes any kind of batteries, car batteries, household batteries, any e-bike batteries, phone batteries, any kind of thing that charges definitely should not be going into the trash can.
Yeah, so you talked about, throwing out the do's and don'ts of throwing out batteries, but what are some of the do and don'ts for charging batteries?
Yeah, so definitely the number one thing is to never charge something with a cord that it did not come with. Obviously, your phone chargers, that's a different story, but if you purchase something and it comes with a cord, you should be using that cord to charge or power that item, because different cords, they give out different power amounts, and sometimes if you have a cord that's giving too much power to a battery, that can cause a fire. You should also never charge something on a flammable surface like a couch, a blanket, a bed. If you're charging your phone at night, it should be always on a nightstand on a hard surface, not covered by anything. We don't want to trap that heat into the area, causing a fire, because when you charge something, that's a lot of heat going into the battery to charge it, and if that's trapped in that extra heat that it's emitting is trapped, it definitely could cause a fire. So definitely hard surfaces only. Never charge anything on a bed or on a blanket or covered by anything, and to make sure you charge cords or charge things with the cords that it came with.
Yeah, Austin, and very briefly, what is the best way to keep yourself safe in case a fire does happen due to battery?
Yeah, so definitely the number one thing, check your smoke detectors, because those can save your life if they work. That's a key word, if they work. If they're not working, they're not going to warn you if there's a fire, and it can potentially trap you. Another thing is to not charge any e-bikes or e-scooters near a front door or a main exit, just in case a fire happens with that battery. You don't want to trap yourself in the home. So making sure that you have your smoke detectors working and keeping any batteries away from the front door.
So where am I supposed to put my front door e-bike now? That makes Well, Austin, thanks for breaking that down for us. Well, animal lovers, check this out. A big cat got to enjoy some fall festive enrichment with a pumpkin treat.
Aww.
Here's a playful tiger knocking down and enjoying a pumpkin treat at the Milwaukee County Zoo. Let the gourd times roll, the zoo wrote in its ex-post.
The zoos really love their gourd memes, honestly, at this point. But what a cute little cat. I would love to pet him.
I would also, he looks friendly.
He looks pretty friendly. He looks like he's playful.
I wish I could play with that pumpkin.
But you know, when you turn your back to him and he jumps on you and it's like, oh, how sweet and soft, and then it's suddenly very dark. and your consciousness fades. So always be careful that, these guys are apex predators. These guys can really, they can really get the jump on you. You know, I just say like bears. They're cute. They're
Bears?
cuddly. They look friend-shaped, but they are not friends. Okay, you gotta keep in mind.
What is friend-shaped?
Well, like, have you seen
Me
a
if I
polar
eat the
bear?
pie.
Like a polar bear has the cutest face ever.
Of course.
It's got these little black wobbly eyes, really long
Yes.
snout, and he sniffs all over the place. But then, in reality, he wants to eat you. So you gotta be careful.
Moral of the story, don't look closely into Cameron's eyes.
I hate the polar bear. I'm saying that right now.
Yeah, well, we've got one more local story for you when we return on Beyond the Headlines. Our very own Cameron Main will be in the hot seat next to go over what's going on at the state capitol during veto session. We'll be right back. Welcome back. All right, our last story for Beyond the Headlines puts Cameron in the hot seat. He is here to go over what happened during the first day of veto session at the state capitol. So, Cameron, what's up? What's on the agenda for the veto session?
Well, I think the most important thing is lawmakers finally came back to Springfield and they just set up themselves. Not really much has happened. There were a few things with JCAR where they talked about IDOC and some of the things they were doing. But most of it was just, hey, we're back in Springfield, just check in. No real committees, bills considered. And mind you, veto session, it's only 6 days out of the October month. And there's not a lot of legislating you can do in 6 days compared to the spring session where you have a lot to do in 6 months. So they're not really expected to do a whole lot, but there are 2 big items on the agenda, and that is the energy bill and that is the Chicago Transit bill.
Yeah, and speaking of the energy bill, I mean, this has been back and forth for a while. It's also included, obviously, lawmakers saying, hey, raising the prices. So why is the energy bill kind of stalled out?
Well, originally the energy bill, when the conversation started of oh, we're going to have a future grid problem. We won't actually have enough energy to support the grid, mainly because of data centers. They take up a lot of energy.
Yeah.
But also there has been a lot of shutdown of old coal power plants. Most of them have either shut down or they can only run during peak times. And that was a decision made before data centers have come into the equation. And just generally by 2050, we're expecting a lot more electricity needs. Think about all the updates. More people expect to have electric cars, electric vehicles, electric transit, data centers. There's a whole host of things. So they're already on the mindset of we need to have some energy reform. And then the recent capacity auction, basically that allowed the energy bills to get so high over the summer, that really brought it to the forefront of consumers' attention because it's hard to ignore that, oh, my Ameren bill is double what it was, Windy City Wieners reported having an almost $2,000 Ameren bill in 1 month. That's a lot of money for a business to front. And the reason why it's stalled out is because it's a huge bill. There's so many big parts of it. The 2 big things are obviously battery storage that has been pretty successful in Texas with their energy issues, and ending the nuclear moratorium for a large modular nuclear reactor. So that means we can get the big boys back in. So, for example, adding another reactor to Clinton is something that could be feasible under this. So there's different ways, but I think as well, because this energy bill was planned in the spring before we saw the rate hikes, this was a more long-term thought process bill. So I think more lawmakers are stuck in a situation of oh, how can we actually pass an energy bill that actually helps consumers right now? Because that wasn't really on the forefront of the minds, because that wasn't really the original idea of the bill. And I think there's so many negotiations, there's so many groups, so many people arguing over it, and right now the lawmakers aren't sure it's even going to pass veto. It's a very short time to pass legislation, but it could pass, it could not.
Yeah, are there any proposals that they're also proposing?
I would say Chicago Transit is a big one. The fiscal cliff is going to seem a lot less than original. It was originally $770 million, but now it's only $200 million.
Oh, wow.
And so that's a significant decrease.
Oh, yeah.
But obviously it still needs funding. There's still going to be a tax that will have to support that. What that tax will be is potentially on Uber, on ride shares. So every Uber ride will be taxed a certain amount. The delivery tax is probably dead, but that obviously could be revived out of nowhere. But.
How interesting. So when you order an Uber, you're like, wow, I'm taxed $100.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
that's at least one of the proposals. If some people might have already seen ads on Instagram that have shown Uber saying, hey, talk to your local lawmakers. We don't know the exact details because they're more involved in those conversations. So
Yeah. Awesome. Well, yeah. Well, thank you, Cameron. Well, more than 100 sausage dogs from Germany, Austria, and Switzerland raced against the clock in Munich at the 3rd International Dachshund Competition.
Oh, the racetrack with a length of just over 40 yards and no marked lanes can be covered in just over 4 seconds. That's the record set by Luitpold. The competition included several classes ranging from light weights up to 11 pounds and inclusion races for older or physically disabled dogs. That's pretty funny.
My wiener dog at home, Roxy, would clean up the competition. She's she's almost 15 years old and she still can just run.
That is honestly as well, we call them dachshunds in Australia.
Yes.
So I'm going to call them dachshunds.
That's fine.
But those are top of the range dashies right there.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't be so confident that your little guy could beat those little guys. They've trained their lives for this moment, it seems like.
They really just, they're just going, man. My mom used to take, they're just so cute. My mom used to take Roxy for a walk every day. And this is, she was just a speedster. She's buff too.
Oh, really?
That's something, that dachshunds get, or just dogs in general, is they can get just jacked out.
Right.
So,
right.
But yeah, I love small dogs.
I do like the dachshunds as well. My girlfriend doesn't really like them that much, but I do want to say there's one other thing I would like to mention on Beyond the Headlines. I walked into the office today. I want you to be in my footsteps. I walked into the office today, and I see Alex drinking out of his water cup. I'm like, okay, he's drinking. And then I realize this is his water cup. Yes, this is called a water cup. Look at it at the size. It is bigger than my head. Look at that. And it's metal. It is powerful. Look at this. Look at this. I have big hands, and this is a big bottle. And it's like, how do you even drink from this?
You want me to show you? Let me show you.
It's like, you look like you were just it's like you're drinking like you just were dehydrated out of the desert for 5 days.
So obviously it makes that nice little canteen sound, right?
Oh yeah. That is ridiculous. And look, and you spilled all the water over you. Well, that's great.
So,
what a ridiculous cup.
Hey, I haven't spilt it before.
Well, the point is that it's 64 ounces.
It is.
And that's how much you need. That was loud into the microphone.
Did you like that?
Yeah. We're playing music now on Beyond the Headlines. If you're wondering where we're at right now.
Dachshunds, water bottles, what else? Badminton players.
Badmintons. And then sometimes we talk about things that matter.
You don't think the badminton player mattered?
Oh, well, the badminton player. Okay, that's a different story. Hey, you were the one that was laughing about it.
I do tend to laugh. I do tend to chuckle at certain things.
It's a healthy thing. You know, what did the doctor say again? Laugh a day keeps the... Wait, no, that's an apple a day. It keeps the doctor away.
Oh.
All right, thanks for joining us for today's Beyond the Headlines. You can find all these stories and more over on our website, CIProud.com.
Updates 24/7. Log on to CIProud.com and download the free CI Proud to Go mobile app.